This is my truth. This isn't like what I think I know. This is the truth.
Yeah.
And I appreciate when somebody tells the truth.
Yeah.
If I got on here and I lied, if I was just lying, if we were exchanging war stories, do you know I would lie to one up you? If I can get into that, look, real fast.
Real fast, man.
Yep.
Real fast.
So like humbly, I come here, and I'm just authentic.
Yes.
Ain't nothing like the truth.
Ain't nothing like the truth,
man. If they
man.
lied to me and somebody lied and told somebody that this was going to be easy, shame on them.
Shame.
Because it's not easy. It's not, but it's simple.
It's simple.
It really is.
Thanks so much for listening to No Lions Here with me, Big Panda. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to No Lions Here. My name is Big Panda, and I'm a recovering sex addict. Before we jump in, super excited about today's episode. Before we jump in, I do want to give a shout out real quick to my sponsor for the show, Beginning Institute. If you or someone you know is struggling with sex or porn addiction, definitely go check out the work that they're doing. It was a life-changing program for me to go through. Answered a lot of the whys and connected a lot of the dots for me and gave me a lot of really good tools to start my journey for recovery. So really grateful for them. Definitely go check out their information will be in the description on this episode. So definitely go check them out. Beginning Institute. Again, really grateful for everything that they're doing and what they've given me. And if you are listening on Spotify, definitely go check out YouTube channel. If you're listening on YouTube, definitely go check out Spotify for the whole discography of all of the episodes. And so talking about episodes, that bring me to today's episode with today's guest, episode number 80, which is actually a really big milestone for me. I'm just super excited for this. I have with me in the studio today, this man is a brother of mine in recovery. We work together at the treatment center. That's where we met. And man, ever since we met, dude, I have just immediately drawn to you, man, and the passion and the fire that you bring to these people and the passion and fire that you bring to recovery and just like who you are, man. Like you are on fire with this stuff and it sets me on fire for this stuff. And I really love getting to work with you and seeing, because again, you motivate me and you inspire me. So it was a no-brainer when I met you. Like, I got to have this man on the podcast. You said yes. Now we're here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to No Lions Here. My brother in recovery, Ricky.
Glad to be here. I'm digesting that good stuff. And that's what's cool is like I get to pull from a little bit that information, but I also get to introduce you to somebody that wasn't always that kind, that loving, that motivated, that passionate. But it took what it took. It took a dangerous road to get and find the passion that I have for recovery. I'm obsessed with recovery. I love recovery. I love what I do. I love the decision that I made to work at a treatment center that I work at. I love that decision. I don't regret that decision. That decision was brought to me through prayer. I believe I have been led there. And also while I'm there, I'm actually a student while I'm there, but I also I actually do some leading too while I'm there. So, and like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So the teacher appeared and the student was ready. And this is where I'm at. Here we go.
Yeah, man.
Here we go.
Yeah, man. No, I that's a really good point of like learning, man. Because I'm learning while I'm there, man. Like those people in that treatment center, I always ask them the question, right? Like, who feels like they can go out and be of service? And you'll see like half the hands go up, 25% of the hands go up. And I'm like, bullshit, you guys. Like, you guys can be of service. You guys are being of service to me. Being in here and letting me get to spend time with you guys and learning your stories, like, you're being of service to me, so everybody's hands should be up, right? Those hands should light up like Christmas trees.
Raise your hand if you're worth it. you know, and it's silent in there
Yeah.
because I remember not feeling so worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But them asking me in like my fifth or sixth treatment center, like, who in here's got this, right? I remember this certain person would come in every Thursday at 7 o'clock, and she had 27 years clean into the treatment center that I was a client at, and faithfully. So that tells me that even with substantial amount of clean time, that how important to give back is.
Yeah.
You know, that the student, like I'll always be a student, right? And I have to humble myself. That's a humbling statement, right?
Yeah.
Because I soak in all this information, and I'm asked to speak a lot of places, and like it can. I love what somebody said. I watched your podcast. I was scrolling through YouTube, and it showed up, right. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the whole YouTube, the wormhole, and somebody said that my spirit can get goosebumps, but my ego can too.
Mm.
And I can remember, I can relate to that. So I have to be mindful, right, of where this is coming from, right? So I always say this: in order for me to reach out, my experience is that someone had to reach me.
Mm.
And being and I wouldn't say a student, but a product of 30 treatment centers, right? It wasn't, I was being reached through, I believe, through every individual treatment center, whether that was just completing the program, because like I loved a good old co-ed treatment center, right? We talk about the sex addict, right? And I loved the co-ed treatment center because I could detox what they gave me to detox with, right? Which was
Mm-hmm.
usually like Subutex, because I was coming off of heroin. So I was afraid of the withdrawals, and I understand the people who are afraid of the withdrawals that don't stay long enough, that this is just too much, right? And eventually I had to look back, and what my counselor said, that previous to you being here and when I was in treatment, all they gave me was a bed and a trash can
Mm.
for withdrawing,
Yeah.
right? And we have predecessors in the rooms of self-help groups. I do self-help groups outside of here, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and we have who've all they had was the bed and the trash can, and those people are still clean today.
Mm.
There is a meeting that I go to, well, I haven't been to, but when I went to, that I haven't been to in a while, there was 200 people clean with over 200 years of clean time on the left side of the room,
Wow.
just the left.
Wow.
And so when it's coming from all angles like that, when I can receive the information, right? Because at that point I was a student, but I was still incapable to grasp the fact that I'm an addict and I used to live and I live to use, and I cannot use successfully. Right. So they
Mm-hmm.
drew some things out of me, and I picked up bits and pieces, and I don't remember what they said, but I remember how it made me feel.
Yeah.
I remember I was at a convention of Narcotics Anonymous, right? It was back in 2015, I believe. It was called Cabin Fever, and we still meet to this day, and it's one of my favorite conventions, right? So if you're listening and you haven't been to a Cabin Fever convention of Narcotics Anonymous, come get good. Right,
Yeah.
let's go get good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we get good once a year. I don't remember the date because it changes, but I believe one of the speakers shared their first sexual experience and is with the same sex, right?
Mm.
And that was my experience. And I'm like, man, they talk about this stuff here, right? Because at this point, I am involved with myself. I was a newcomer getter. I loved the girl with 30 days, 60 days. I like doing the key tags. For those of you who've been with meetings, we have a key tag system. So I got to like point out where the new ones are, the ones that just want somebody to love them. At some point, we just want somebody to love us. But
Yeah.
I eventually understood the fact, somebody told me all I ever wanted to do was be heard. And that's all I've ever wanted to do, is just be heard.
Yeah.
Right. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to, wherever I'm speaking from, I want it to come from a place these days of understanding and passion. I don't want to weaponize you with what I think sounds good.
Yeah.
Because today I understand that I am a tool and I am not a weapon. Today I understand that God is a tool and God is not a weapon today. I can't beat you over the head with literature, but what them good quoters did, them good old basic text, big book quoters did, right? Regardless if they were living it or not, right? But what it was attractive.
Yeah.
And what it did, Alex, is it got me to the literature.
Yeah.
And that's what I found about me. And I found out a lot about me. And I'm so paranoid at the fact that these books are speaking my language. It's like they've walked around and followed me my whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm paranoid, right? But I'm like, I'm clean paranoid because I'm like, how do they know this about me? How do they know that I forgot how to live? How do they know that I forgot how to feel? How do they know that I forgot what it was like to feel human? How did they know that I was lost? How did they know that I was homeless? How did they know that using against my own will? How did they do that too? Because I remember being on my way and I could cry. Like, we're going to get emotional because I get emotional. I'm coming from a pocket. I'm coming from where I've been reached, like I talked about, right? So let me reach somebody because I've been reached. And I'm coming from a place where I prostituted with men for drugs. I remember I was at Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, right? And I'm dope sick. And I'm there. I don't know why I'm there, but I'm there. And at that point, I've experienced some meetings. And I remember I was there and this guy asked me if he could do something to me and he would pay me. And I remember going behind this building of AA facility that it was at. And I remember allowing him to do what he asked me if he could do to me. And I remember finishing that. And then I remember that he didn't pay me. And he didn't pay me. You know, so going back to the speaker who opened up with his first sexual experience was with the same sex, I could identify with that. So there was an opening taking place. There was an opening taking place previous to him saying that, but I was open enough to receive that information, right? And he shared how his first sexual experience was with the same sex. Boom, I can identify. Yep. Oh shit, he's talking. Can we cuss on there?
Absolutely,
oh, let's
man.
fucking
Yeah,
go,
absolutely,
so,
man. Be you. I want
remember,
you.
I told you I'm in the pocket, right?
In the pocket.
I'm in, and I remember he talked about it, right? And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that I could talk about it. I'm like, he's drawing me in at this point, but still like, nah. No, I'm just all I'm doing. I want to grow, but still at the same time, I don't want to let go of the fact with my good sharing ass that my vulnerability I could use as a weapon. I read a meditation the other day, the inappropriate vulnerability. When I can attack you through my vulnerability, do I really want to grow? Or am I just using this to manipulate you? And so I was sitting there and I was like, man, he shared my experience. And there's no. And then fast forward a little bit. I eventually opened up some step work and I got busy. You know, I work in Narcotics Anonymous program. I have a relationship with the God of my understanding today. We opened up. You guys didn't get to see this, but we opened this up with prayer before we hit record. I am invested and I'm obsessed with the God of my understanding. We invest today. The equity that I've received from like my personal vulnerability with the God of my understanding, the receipts that I have are living proof of the work that has been done, the change. But I'm like, I still got work to do. Like they say, anything arrested can be paroled, right?
Yeah.
So anything that, anything that like, let me, I pray. I still talk to God. I still go to God. I'm still confused. I'm still full of fear. I haven't addressed everything about the little boy. I'm willing to address everything about the little boy, but the little boy takes work.
Yep.
He takes work, right? And the little boy doesn't always want to be a little boy. The little boy always, sometimes, I wouldn't say always, but sometimes just wants to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Doing something else.
Yeah.
My whole life. I remember I'm still trying to play catch with this child. I just want to play catch. And I'm reminded when I'm a father today, right? And like playing ball in the backyard with the little boy. didn't make sense, but it makes sense today.
Yeah.
We would throw the ball and we wouldn't catch it. In recovery, I would throw the little boy the ball and he wouldn't catch it. And the little boy would just do his best to throw it back at me with love. Right? No fast, but just with love. And then fast forward a little bit. The more we practice, the more I practice with this little boy, the little boy becomes to catch the ball.
Yeah. And then he can start throwing it back.
He can start throwing it back.
He can start throwing it back.
And with love.
With love.
And some speed to it.
And some speed to it, man. Throw him with the Uncle Charlie. Throw him with the Uncle Charlie.
The old pop-up.
Dude,
let's roll.
Let's go. Let's go.
And like, so it makes sense. Throwing the ball in the backyard with the little boy today makes sense, right? Because I can put it in a perspective of being a father and throwing the ball with the little boy in the backyard, who the little boy didn't catch it at first. Now it become like frustrated, like, why is this little boy catching this ball? And at that point, Facebook was so important, you know, like just scrolling Facebook, checking everybody's shit out, like that would be more important. But eventually I got off the couch and I started to play catch with somebody who couldn't throw or catch the ball. And today he throws back and he catches the ball and he's like hitting good hits and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a dad today. So like, it just took practice.
Sure.
You know, it just took a little bit of work.
Just practice, man.
Just a little bit of work.
Anything you want to do, anything you want to get better at, like it takes practice. It takes practice. This recovery thing, man, it takes practice. Like, how many people do we see come in there and just want to automatically be good? That was me. That was me in my very first rooms, right? I want to be real good at this because if I can get really good at this quick, I'm going to get healed.
Yes.
Right? Well, I dropped that ball. I couldn't catch that ball in my first few meetings, right? I tried, man, and I get frustrated. And I love that analogy that you got. And then I would try to throw it back, but man, it looks like I'm throwing with my left arm, right? Like I no distance, no speed, right? But the more that I went, the more that I decided to play catch, going to meetings, working the steps, talking to people. The better at catching I got, the better at throwing I got. And then it's now where it's like, all right, like, and being something that you brought up there that I love, like, because if you talk to anybody in recovery that's having a good day, right, it's always like, because I've been here recently, is like, yeah, man, like I'm really grateful for where my life is, man. If I look back today, I'm not filled with that depression and that fear of what's gonna come, but check in with me tomorrow, right? Because I know that this isn't going to be a constant state for me, but I'm also not looking over my shoulder for it either. Right. Whereas early in recovery, it was like, things are going too well. When's the shoe going to drop? Where now it's like, okay, like I'm going to bask in what I have today because tomorrow's not promised. And that's how, you know, someone's in recovery and works a program, is they're like, this isn't going to be like this forever. Right. Check in with me tomorrow.
This plane lands.
This plane does land. Right. There's going to be times where I drop the ball. Or I'm going to make a bad throwback, but that's all right.
And I'm going to strike out.
And I'm going to strike out.
And I'm going to hit home runs.
And I'm going to hit home runs.
And I'm going to overthrow the ball.
And I'm going to overthrow the ball.
I'm going to underthrow the ball.
I'm going to underthrow the ball.
And I'm going to be called out.
Yes.
And there's not a feeling when you're safe. You know? He's safe.
He's safe. He's sliding in, man.
And I don't have to hurt anybody to be safe.
No, man. And that's the other thing too, is like, I'm clean in how I live, man, through my good days and my bad days. Right? Like I'm clean. I feel really good with how I treat other people.
What does clean mean? I love it.
My intentions. My intentions, right? We almost got into this earlier. Like you asked me, because I'm going on dates right now, right? And I'm going on dates and talking to girls, and like I'm actually going about it in a way that, like, I'm not trying to manipulate them. I'm trying to get to know them. And I'm also learning about myself in the process too. But I'm clean. I'm clean. Like I made a move yesterday. I kissed her, but I feel clean in my intentions, right? We had a conversation about it before it happened, and I feel clean in my intentions. My intention was not to kiss her to fast track things. Okay, cool. I kissed her on this date. Next date, it's going to be second base. The date after that. Now, no, it's just like, hey, the connection's there. I like that. To me, that's clean, right? I'm not using people. Because for me, that was all what it was all about, man.
Did you
Using people.
did your dis-ease like try to trick you? Did you get a little extreme after?
No,
No, in your thinking?
not too extreme. Not too extreme to the point where like I felt like I had to act on it. Like fantasy, yeah, like that was there for sure, right? The thoughts of like, man, wow, like. But then, man, what was really interesting was like fear was what I was feeling yesterday afterwards. Like I got home, I got the grass, and I just like got hit with this anxiety of like, oh shit, like things are moving, right? The intimacy has upped. Yeah. We're moving this forward because there were more things that we shared about each other. Mm. And so, okay, the intimacy is progressing here. Oh shit, it's getting real. I got to go and have this conversation, right? My sponsor reminded me last night, Alex, you cannot go any further physically until you disclose like that you are a person with sexual addiction. Yeah. And I totally agree with him. And I did not push back. And I totally agree. Anything else that needs to be physical, there needs to be a disclosure, right? Because she has to have the option, yes or no. Are you in? Is this something that you can handle? Let's have conversations around it. And my motive is not to tell her this to get to that point to where we're sleeping together. That's not my motive. I like her a lot. I want to be transparent in how I'm living.
And it opens up doors for you.
It does.
For the little boy.
For the little boy.
Because at some point, I always say this, that I have to, the preteen needs to be addressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes, that adolescent
because the little boy grows up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for me, the little boy will like the conversations about the little boy. It's some kind of an emotion, right? Where I can physically close my eyes and I could picture myself just loving on the little boy, you know? But I also, as my son gets older and he gets heavier and he gets a little bigger, I can't pick him up and love on him. Eventually my son will be like, Dad, stop. Dad, just stop. I'm not that little boy anymore. I'm 13, you know, like address the preteen.
Yeah.
And like my son with today is like a little standoffish. He's opening up, but he wants these abs, right? He wants these abs for these girls. And I ask him like, is it about the girls? And he laughs and like he hides, right? So he's in that stage and I know what it's for. I know why my son wants to do 500 sit-ups and he asks questions about like working out and stuff like that. And Dad, how you do this? Dad, how you do that? And I'm available.
Yeah.
I'm available, emotionally available. I understand what it's like to withhold some information from an individual and do it anyways, knowing that this is going to not be good for both involved. But for what word do I want to use? I want to protect. I want to protect myself. And not protect myself in a good way, but I don't want you to see me as who I really am or what I really have.
Yeah.
So I protect myself. I don't want to break my own anonymity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to, I want to disclose. I'm scared.
Mm-hmm. I'm terrified.
I'm terrified.
I'm terrified.
I'm terrified for you. But it's like when I stop making it about me, because it's not even about me. It's really not. When I stop making it about me, and I don't have to disclose. I don't have to manipulate anybody when I'm disclosing this information. Yes, it's upsetting, and yes, I might cry, but these are like authentic. This is like who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm disclosing this and I don't have to give it all at one point.
Yes.
Because to eat an elephant, I have to eat a bite at a time.
One manageable bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Woo. So like I don't have, there's some recovery in there and what a relief. Oh my God. Ain't nothing like a deep breath. Ain't nothing like catching your breath. And from exhaustion within your own self. When I finally get to the finish line of the bullshit that's going on in my head and I get to take a deep breath and I'm like, oh my God, it's over for now.
Yeah.
You know, the plane landed. The plane landed.
Plane landed.
Dude, we're on the ground.
Yeah.
Here I am. If I ever want to know where I'm at, I get to look at my feet.
10 toes down.
10 toes.
Where am I at right now?
Look.
Where am I at? 10 toes down, man.
Who am I?
Who am I?
Where are you at?
Yes.
In my life. because my language when I walk by somebody, Alex, and they look discouraged, right? And I ask, or they could be discouraged, or nothing could be going on. And I don't want to tell somebody that something's wrong with them if nothing's
Yeah.
wrong. That's not what it is. But if something's wrong, I want to open up that door for if you ever need somebody to talk to. Because if my ass is on fire, I can't be worried about where the water's going to come from, you know? And like our literature says, you can't save your face and your eye at the same time. But anyways, if I'm passing by somebody and I ask, are you okay? I have to be willing to sit down or step to the side with this individual if they say no. I want my language to match my behavior today.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely do really care. Some people just ask to ask.
Some people do, yeah.
I just want you to like me. I just want you to know. I just want you to think that you think that I really care about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to move.
Yeah.
And I have to move out of the way because it's really not about me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I ask you, are you okay? And you tell me no, I have a responsibility to pull. Maybe I'm not pulling anything, but it's my responsibility to try and pull a little bit out of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's my language.
Or at least give them the space.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Give them the space. Don't pressure them, but hey, like, I'm here. Just knowing that somebody's there. Mm. Oh my gosh, man. Like, I noticed this just this last week in the treatment center of like sitting down with guys that shared things with me that they were like, I've never told anybody this before.
Oh my God.
It was like, whoa, like, and again, like, it's not about me.
Oh,
like, I want to make it all about me. I want to make it all about me, so I really like the perspective that you're bringing around this because I want to make it all about me, but you're right. Like, it's not all about me, man. Like, I'm just a vessel, right? I gave that person the space to say, hey, what's up? What do you want to talk about? You know, what's going on with you? Right. And I didn't even have to disclose any of my story to get that out of them. Sometimes that's how it works, right? I disclose my story a little bit and then people are like, oh, wow, maybe I can talk to him about some of those things. Because I've had those conversations happen too, right? Oh, wow. Like, but in these instances, I just gave them space. Hey, what's going on? I just want to get to know you. What's going on with you? How you doing? You know, tell me about you. Yeah. And then they felt that they were ready to share.
Mm-hmm. I love that you do the feelings wheel.
I love that feelings wheel, man. What are you feeling right now?
What are you feeling?
Because I think that's so important, man.
It goes deeper.
It's because there's that, and that's what I tell everybody. I don't care what your addiction is. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your vice is. Everything underneath is the same. Yeah. The feelings. That's where it all stems from. Mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer of that. Firm believer. And the other side of that is that's how we relate to each other. Yes. Because we all have those feelings. Why did you go and relapse? Because you were feeling lonely? Fuck. I know what lonely feels like. Yeah. Oh, you went and used because you were anxious? Oh, fuck. Yeah. I tell you what I know what anxiety is.
But when you hold on and you get through those moments. So I was speaking of, like the other day at work, I'm doing an assessment. And this is just like, how's your household? What's your living conditions like? Do you need this? Do you need that? Nothing about the questions that I've asked other than, has anybody ever physically harmed you currently? This isn't, we can get to the past, but that would have been a note I have had to take, right? But currently, is anybody hurting you, screaming at you, cussing at you, harming you, insulting you, whatever? And it led to me sharing my experience on how my first sexual experience was with the same sex, right? I don't know why it did, but this was something that was led, right? And we'll get to that. But he answered never. So you're asked, when I'm asked that question, I say never, rarely, sometimes, often, fairly, frequently, whatever. And he said never. So like from an external perspective, nothing was going to be talked about further than that. So we were just like surface level, but I don't know why I was led to, and I don't know where it came from, but What I do know is I shared my first sexual experience with this guy, and he's like, man, me too.
Hmm.
And I don't know why it was led to Alex, but check this out. He goes, oh my God, I've never told anybody that besides my wife. It was quiet like this. It was so quiet. And then fast forward a little bit, I shared with him my experience on how I prostituted with men to get one more. From an outside perspective, looking at this individual, I thought maybe he looked like he's been to treatment once or twice. I found out he did 25 years in prison. Didn't know, right? Like none of the records show. He prostituted with men for drugs. And he said, I've never told anybody but my wife that. So the risk. And he was like, I probably won't complete treatment, but you don't know the impact that you just had on me. And my last question was, it was a work question, you know. This was the list of questions that I have to ask. It had nothing to do with the conversation we just had, but we dug deep within 10 minutes. Yeah. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just a power greater than ourselves, just like letting him know or letting me know, don't judge a book by its cover, Ricky, because you've been judging books by a cover for a long time. Mm-hmm. And here you are with similar experiences. And this guy, like, what was said to me, my gut feeling is that God just wanted somebody to feel safe while I set somebody free. I remember, look, when we invite God in, because I got this notebook at work that when I'm like, not even when I'm feeling off or when I'm just feeling these moments with the God of my understanding, I go and write. And it's a hot dog book, and it's sitting at work right now, probably in the same spot I left it. If somebody decides to pick it up and read it, they're going to see letters to the little boy and to God while I'm at work. Because sometimes I have a diseased, right, that tells me I'm not diseased. Right? Yep. Like I'm just the plane's in the sky. Just wait for it to land. I want to talk about this before the plane lands. Yeah. So when it lands, it's a smooth landing. Yeah. Right? It's not so rough. I don't know. I write a lot. I write letters to a little boy. I still write letters to a little boy. I have a text message from my son. And I always say this, and it reminds me of writing letters to a little boy. And it encourages me to continue to write letters to a little boy. It encourages me to continue on in my recovery. And I can pull up the text. And my son was 5 at the time. And he said, Dad, you're going to climb this mountain. And it was a mountain emoji and a mountain emoji. And it had 100 on it. You know, the like,
yeah. 100. Keep it 100.
Keep it 100, right? Yeah. Keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep.
But that still encourages me to this day. My sponsor, I wasn't doing well actually at the time. And my son likes to wrestle. Me and my son like to wrestle, right? And it was during COVID. So I didn't see my son for a while. I didn't see my son for about 3 months because the whole, you know, we were all new to what was going on or whatever, just trying to figure it out, whatever. But I didn't see my son for about 3 months, and I see my son finally, and he just wanted to do kid stuff while he wanted me to do some dad stuff. It's something that we've done, wrestled and all that stuff. And I hadn't been to meetings in a while in that time because of COVID due to shut down or whatever. And I really wasn't getting with God. I was in between sponsors. Like I went through like 4 different sponsors at this time. I don't know why. I don't know what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But all I know is that I was pulled, I felt like in every direction by the disease. So I felt pulled apart. And my son just wanted to wrestle. And I finally got him. And for some reason I wanted to use. And my son was like, Dad, just come in here and wrestle with me. I just want to wrestle with you. And I can remember just telling him to go lay down. You know? Just go to like I can do with the little boy inside me. I just go lay down. I just want you to get outside of yourself, Dad. Well, I tell the little boy, just shut up, just go lay down.
Yeah,
you know. Mm-hmm. And I was really struggling, and I reached out to 3 people, and I remember I prayed before this. There used to be 13 steps, and it had nothing to do with knocking newcomers or having sex or being any kind of predator. Previous to what we have today, we had 13 steps and we came up with whatever, but 13th step was God help me. And that's what I said. Just God help me. You know, ain't nothing like when God can hear your thoughts, when he sends somebody your way. And just a thought. I haven't, you know, at some point in my recovery, I've just thought about it, and it was brought to me. It was presented to me. But I remember God helped me, and I wanted to use, and I set myself like I'm gonna use, right? This is this time, and I had like I think a year clean, and I remember praying, God help me, but still at the same time moving forward with this decision of wanting to use. And the first person I reached out to, I was like, man, this dude's using for sure. You know, so scumbag. You know, and he said, Ricky, I'm on day 2 and I'm in St. Louis and I'm fishing and I can't get back to you. Fine. Click. I called the second person. I was like, man, this dude's using for sure. Because I didn't know how to get dope at this point.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know anybody to call. And he said, Ricky, I just celebrated 30 days. I said, congratulations. Click. You know, that's good stuff. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's powerful shit, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then I called the third person who's actively using, and if he's listening to this or eventually ever listens to this, thank you so much for telling me what you told me. So I called him, and I said, man, I want to use. And he's like, man, I'm 30 minutes away. And I was like, all right, well, I'll be. He goes, Ricky, I'm not coming there because I love you too much. And then my son comes in the room. He said, Dad, you're going to be okay. Sometimes I play that voice, right? I play that. Like everything's going to be okay. Fucked up at the time, and I'm still clean to this day. And I remember the text message saying, when he left, because he knew Dad wasn't right, you know? And he knew Dad wasn't being Dad. He knew Dad wasn't wrestling with him, and he knew Dad that screamed at him a little bit and told him just to go, right? Because at this point, I was willing to put him in the car seat because at the time he was in a car seat. And I remember I was willing to put him in the car seat and just go. Because when I'm in go mode, I'm in go mode.
Yeah.
You know, like, God. But I remember him telling me that everything's going to be okay. And I was like, oh, God, thank you. Thank you for the 3 people that just turned me down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I remember when he left, when he was pulling up, when he left, and on this way out, he said, dude, you know I'm looking for it because this wasn't planned, right?
Yeah.
But here it is. I said, call me when you get home, right? And he texted me on his way home. Said, I just wanted you to know that I love you. And drew and it's got a heart emoji, and it's got a 100, and it's got a mountain emoji. I want you to climb that mountain today. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I had this picture of this little boy, which is in my car when I made a decision to use previous to that. And what this picture told me is that everything was going to be okay. But this time I reached where somebody reached me. I got to that place of desperation that I don't want to use, and I can use against my will. So at this point, I was willing to use against my will. But when something shows up like that, when you ask God to present you with something and it's presented in a way like that, I've been reached.
Yeah.
I was reached.
Yep.
And here we are, still clean, coming up on 6 years.
Let's go.
Let's go,
man.
But there are many stories like that. I always like to share this story. And it's about the little boy and the man. I don't know if you ever heard me tell it, but I could relate to the little boy and the man who just wants to get some work done, right? So he's really busy and he's got to get this work done. And so he's with the little boy, right? And so he's going to the house, and he goes into the house, and he's like, man, what could I do? What can I give this little boy to do while I get this work done? Because the little boy just wants to play. Little Lucas, if you're listening to this, that's my son's name. Little Lucas just wants to play. But daddy's like a little fucked up right now. And dad's got to do some work, right? God's doing the work. Ricky is the student, right? But anyway, so dad goes to a bookshelf and he grabs a National Geographic book, right? And he's flipping through it, and he finds a picture of a map, right? I'm wiping tears. It's getting emotional. And he grabs and he grabs the picture, he rips it out, and he rips it up into 100 different little pieces, right? And he said, I'm going to give it to the little boy to put it back together while I get this work done. So he gives it to the little boy. The little boy takes it in the other room, and he's like, man, the man's thinking, this should take a couple hours while I get this work done. I've ripped it up enough. Right? So he gives it to the little boy. Little boy comes back with it put back together in about 30 minutes. And he gives it to the man, and the man said, son, how did you do that so fast? And he said, Dad, on the back of the map was a picture of a man. I just put the man together and the whole world fell into place. The little boy, son, how did you reach me that fast? Dad, I just want to help you put the man back together. But son, how did you reach me like that? I don't know. I just want to, you asked for this. You know?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Dude, when you put the man together, the world falls into place. I mean, that is just like, that's recovery, man. When you start putting yourself back together and coming from a place where you don't ever feel like you can ever be whole again. I was in that spot. I know it sounds like you were in that spot. Everybody goes through that, man. Everybody we see at the treatment center doesn't think that they can be put back together again, but you can.
They do not.
And when you do start putting yourself together, things start falling into place, man.
Yeah.
Right? Like I remember there's a movie, there's a video out there that Jonah Hill and his therapist, Stoltz or whatever it was called. And he said the therapist talked about like the life triangle. Like whenever you're in a hard spot, if you can focus on these three things, everything else will fall into place. That's what the compass is on my leg, right? It's four things for me, right? When I'm in a bad spot, I need to focus on God, myself, my relationships, and my body. Don't try to figure out everything else.
Yes.
Just work on those four things. Everything else falls into place. It's because I'm working on putting the man back together. And when that man gets put back together, dude, things fall into place.
They do. When I address my spirit, my mental, my emotional, and my physical, I'm not on a plane. I'm on a plane that is landed. So it's a humbling experience. So I feel like I'm high, but as I look at my feet, I'm like, man, I'm doing the work. So it's a spiritual high, like a high that I don't want to come down from. But I'm like, I'm clean enough. I'm clean to experience this. Ain't nothing like a good old deep breath, you know, and looking at my feet and like, wow. So if I'm in the gym and I'm moving up weight, it's going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just going to.
It's going to.
You know, and sometimes I feel like I'm on top of the world, and sometimes I feel like I'm just pushing the world up. Like I just can't, right?
Yep.
And that's like what my recovery is like. But when I see moments like that, and there are a few more like throughout my recovery, you know, I can relate to the story of the guy that's looking for a set of keys in a parking lot, right? And this guy is driving down the street, and he sees this guy like frantic trying to look in this dark parking lot for keys. He doesn't know what he's looking for, but he finds out after he pulls over and he tries to help the man find what he's looking for. And so he's helping him look for it, right? And he goes, what am I looking for? He goes, oh, you're going to help me look for a set of keys. And he goes, well, your keys are over there in the light. He goes, I know, but I'm scared to go over there. I can relate to that too.
Yeah.
Because on days I don't want to address the little boy. There are days where I'm scared of the little boy, you know?
Yes.
Dude, I can get gone quick.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Quick.
Like that.
Quick. For those of you who don't know, I'm a recovering porn addict. I'm a recovering masturbating addict. I'm a recovering sex addict. I'm a recovering addict. I live to use and I use to live. I live to masturbate and I live to masturbate and I masturbated to live. I watch porn to survive. You know, like in my search in the porn, when I'm going down the wormhole, the search is so dangerous. Oh my God, I start looking for things that I really don't even like, but just I want something different.
Yep.
So I get very dangerous. I start looking up trans porn and all this kind of stuff, like gay porn, and I just when I'm there, I'm gone.
Yeah. 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 And dude, that was one of the things that I remember, like one of like the first things you shared with me, because I was like, man, I'm a recovering sex addict. And you're like, yeah, man. Yeah. I can relate to that.
I think it's love.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I think it's love.
I think it's that nurturing, right? Like that's what I have an intimacy disorder.
Yeah.
All I crave nurturing and love, but I don't know how to get it because I never knew how to be vulnerable. because I was so afraid of being vulnerable to where I would just short circuit it. All right, well, I'm here physical. Let me get physical.
Yeah.
Let me have sex. Right? Let me watch something that makes me feel good. Right? Like this. I don't know how to get it on my own the right way. So, but this way kind of works.
Yeah.
Right? Because it does work, but it doesn't last.
It doesn't last.
It doesn't last. Right? And all I was doing was delaying my happiness. But now, today I know that, right? But when I was really in it, man, that pursuit ran so deep and was so big that I had no idea what was going on. I just thought, I'm a guy. This is what guys do. Oh, when I meet, I say this all the time. And when you say this in a room full of men, they start shaking their heads. Like, I was looking for somebody. Whenever I meet the person I'm supposed to be with, these behaviors are going to stop.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for somebody else to fix me. Because I wasn't willing to go in and fix myself. I didn't even know what that looked like. I couldn't do it for myself. Now, today, I can do that for myself, right? Today, in dating, I'm not looking for a partner that's going to fix these things in me. I'm looking for a partner to support me on my journey. And I want to support somebody. I'm not trying to fix anybody. I don't want to fix you. I want to fix me, and I want you to fix you, and I want us to come together and do that together and share our experiences so that we can learn about each other and learn how to support each other. Yeah. And have that love and that nurturing, that authentic nurturing, right? That's what we're doing right here, right? That's what you and I have been doing in this relationship since we met each other. Supportive nurturing, man.
Why is it I can get down here, in here with you like I am, but failed in multiple attempts in my relationships? So I'm giving myself a year, right? September 19th to be a whole year of not being in a relationship, no sex. So I'm giving myself that opportunity, right, to find out why. And I think it has a lot to do with how I treat myself will absolutely transfer into a relationship, unintentionally ending in toxicity.
Yeah.
Just being toxic.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that is not the goal, but that is the reality of my experiences. Yep.
Yeah. I know. I was talking to a guy today. I was talking to a close program friend today, and he made the good point around because I'm like, I can come on here. I can come on this microphone. I can go into a recovery room. I can go into the treatment. Hey guys, I just want to take a minute to share something deeply personal and transformative in my journey of recovery. I've been where you might be right now, struggling with the weight of addiction and feeling lost. But there's a place that offered me a new beginning, a place I truly believe in. It's called Begin Again Institute. At Begin Again, they understand the deep-rooted trauma behind addiction. Their 14-day intensive program for men tackles the neurobiological aspects of addiction head-on. It's not just about breaking a habit. It's about understanding and healing the underlying trauma that formed it in the first place. And for those who have been impacted by betrayal, Begin Again extends care to partners of addicts too. Their partner support program is offered at no additional cost to the family and runs alongside the men's intensive. This program helps participants gain an understanding of the trauma they've experienced and sets them on their own path to healing. If you or someone you love are grappling with sexual addiction, pornography addiction, or intimacy issues, Begin Again Institute can be that pivotal step towards recovery and a new lease on life. Remember, you can't go back and change the past, but it's never too late to begin again. To learn more about their life-changing program, visit beginagaininstitute.com or call 720-776-9076 to reserve your spot in the next 2-week intensive. I promise, it'll be the best call that you ever make for yourself. Stay strong, keep fighting, and keep tuning in to No Lions Here for more conversations about recovery, resilience, and hope. Center, and I'll tell you all the details.
Boom.
No fear.
Boom.
Right? I'm like, this is me. This is me. Right? But then when it comes to this other piece of it, right? Like, oh shit, we got to have this talk. Oh, I'm scared. Right? Well, you know, when you're in recovery, we have to share these things with each other. We have to. This is how I get better. This is how I stay out of the sickness. But man, then you bring in somebody who's not in these rooms with us, and you got to tell them these things.
But do we know? Like, do we know like her side, her story, his story, his
Right.
dad's story, right? Do we know the history of them? Because we could let them in and they'd be like, me too.
Right?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't.
We don't know.
Mhm.
And there's a risk. There's a risk. We got to take that risk. I took a risk on getting into recovery.
Here I am.
And here I am, right? And because we've both, in this situation that I'm in right now with her,
Yeah.
we have both alluded to, like, we don't have, she said it herself, my past is not pretty.
Yeah.
Mine is not either.
Oof.
Mine is not either. But hey, it always, whenever we say those things to each other, it's like, okay, well, that's a conversation for another day. But I want you to know, I told her this yesterday, I said, I want you to know, when you're ready, I'm here. When you're ready, I'm here.
And I could picture her saying that to you.
And that's like, and it's so funny because I've alluded to things, right? Like I really did, like, kind of yesterday, I really set it up for, like, I essentially told her I was a sex addict without telling her I was a sex addict.
Yeah.
And she said this multiple times to me, and she's like, whatever you bring, like, I'm not gonna run. And if you love hearing that, right? Like, that feels so good. It feels so good to be in a situation where, like, wow, we're both at that level with each other. We're like, we're into each other, right? But then that tape, when she says that tape that jumps in that says, bullshit.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm gonna tell you. You don't know. The echoes, man.
The echo.
Yeah, but you don't know, right? I want to disqualify that statement that she gives me by saying, well, you don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
Wait until you know, and then I'll understand if you want to leave. When, like, I don't have the data that shows that she's going to, right? I don't have that data. I don't know how she's going to take it. I have no idea. I have no idea.
What kind of outcome, like, what have you set up, though? Like, where, like, is this fear based on, like, the response?
Yeah.
Because I just want everybody to like me. If you like me, please write a Google review on me and rate me a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Please, if you're out here and you're listening to this, rate me a 5.
Rate me a 5.
You know, because if you rate me a 4, I will sit on that 4 and I'll obsess about that 4. And how can I turn that 4 into a 5? How can I turn that 4 into a 4.2? Like, just how? I just want you to like me, because I just want everybody just to like me. But what this is a setup for practice. We talked about practice
100%.
on how I can just practice getting this stuff out. And I remember I was holding something in. It was my wife at the time, and I was holding something in, and I was really honest with my sponsor throughout the process of finally letting her know, right? And he was like, man, just go practice. And he was real, like, it was real soft, like, and like when people talk to me like that, they can reach me.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
My dad used to whoop my ass. Not like I wasn't abused or anything, but this is what I thought. So after my dad would whoop my ass, and I was good for the ass whooping, by the way. Most likely I was good for the ass whooping. But after it wore off, when the plane landed, he would come back and he would say, you know why I did that, right? Because I love you. So when he approached a little boy like that, I still want my dad to say that to me. I still want that. Not that it confused me on what love was, but as I withhold some information, right? And my sponsor was so patient with it. Oh my God, he was so patient. I was like, I'm not ready yet. He goes, okay. Like, no, like this isn't a conversation about pressuring you to be ready.
Yeah.
I just want to know that I love you. And then when you're ready, you're ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You gave the ripped up paper to the little boy. When you're ready, you're ready. And he was so patient, and he goes, I love what you said, Ricky, it's going to be okay. Ain't nothing like it. It's going to be okay.
Nothing like it, man.
Oh God, I could cry, get goosebumps.
Nothing like
There's
it.
There's nothing, because it presents me with, it's like just the light comes on. Right? And I'm a firm believer in secrets die in the light of exposure. Yes. They die, but they grow in the dark.
Yes.
And this thing was just growing, and it was growing. I'm like, sponsor, I don't either. But I want you to know it's going to be okay. And I was like, well, you don't understand. He said, look, It's going to be okay.
Mm.
So thank you. If you watch this, Terry V, I love you so much. This is like where some of my greatest growth came from. This is where I got the opportunity to really open up. This is where I really got to open up about the speaker that I opened up about who shared their first experience with the same sex. This is the sponsor I opened up with that. Excuse me, I just burped. But this dude. And then I share my experience. And then he said, you are not alone. So do you know what he really said? It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. It's going to be okay.
Dude, do you remember the monsters under the bed when you were little?
Dude, yeah.
The floor was hot lava.
The floor was lava, man. There's a man underneath there who was going to cut my toes off if I didn't wear socks to bed.
If I did it. Or the guy in the closet.
Oh, God, there was a guy in the closet. There was a guy. There were people waiting outside for me whenever I should turn my light off. They were going to come in and kidnap me.
Dude, I shit you not. I was doing laundry the other day, and I'm running upstairs.
Did you do that fast run?
I did.
You did that? I gotta go.
Yes, I did.
I gotta go.
I have to be all the way honest. I did the run, right? And I shut the door real fast, right? When I got steps, I'm like, all right, I made it. You know what I'm saying? I made it to the finish line. And then I told myself, it's gonna be okay. There is not a monster down there.
There's not.
There is not.
There's not.
Mm.
There's not.
No.
I used to not walk. I wouldn't walk by the front door because on my front door of my house we have these two glass, and I had this dream that was like somebody was looking in there at me. So like when I was younger, I would run. It would be a sprint past the door and up the stairs. Too fast, man. I gotta go because they're as soon as or in the basement, man. Dude, I didn't even run that fast in baseball when I hit the ball, and I wanted to run that fast. Like I've never been that fast in my life. You remember the new shoe when you got a new pair of shoes when you were young? Yeah. Like those shoes made me run faster. Yeah.
And my people were like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, you don't get it.
You don't get it.
The pumps, the good stuff.
Yeah.
So those food, I mean, if those shoes made you run faster too, you could probably relate. But they got me closer to the door where I can shut the monster downstairs. Mm-hmm. Faster. And I'm learning in recovery that I've been running for a long time.
A long time, man. Mm-hmm. Long time.
And I still run.
I still run.
I still run.
Yep. I still want to run.
I do.
I still want to run from these things. I noticed that in this whole like again, like I'm looking at things are popping up, man. Like after the first date with this girl, things started popping up, and I'm gonna keep referencing the situation because it's brought up a lot in me.
Yes,
and I noticed that, and I told her this yesterday. I told her about this yesterday. I said, I'm afraid. Right, I'm afraid of this. She's like, what are you afraid of? I said, this situation. I'm afraid of this. I said, these thoughts pop into my head of like, all right, like I need to pull back. I need to pull back and stop sharing so much of myself because we're eventually going to get to the point where she's won't like me. So I need to stop sharing myself to start setting myself up. I need to start building that wall back up because you're eventually going to stop liking me, and that I don't want that to hurt me. So I need to pull back. Like these are some of the thoughts that have popped up, and it's like that's the wrong way of thinking, Alex.
It is.
That's the wrong way of thinking.
It's the wall.
It's the wall
because I'm
trying to protect myself.
I'm giving you my dis-ease, right? Mm-hmm. That's why recovery is an ongoing process. Mm-hmm. Like let me share. So when I think I've gave you all of me, did I, or did I just give you all my bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
Did I really just give you all of me? Or am I just telling you about myself? Like a description when I would go on dating apps. Write a little bit about yourself. If I wrote a little bit about myself, in so many words, you got so many characters, you know what I'm saying? And
it's going to be the highlights.
It's going to be the highlights.
It's going to be what I want you to see. It's going to be the perception I want you to have of me. Yeah. It's not going to be me. And looking back, that's how I approached every relationship, even with friends, right? Yeah. I'm going to give you just enough to where you think that you know me. However, at the entire time you were arm's length away from me and I'm ready to push. Mm. But I'm going to let you think that you know me, but you don't know me. There's things inside of me. Again, going back to that guy that shared with me in the treatment center, right? I'd never told anybody this, Alex. The statement he used, which I have used, so is how I live my life. I'm going to take this to the grave. Ricky, I am grateful that today I do not have to live by that mantra. I do not have to live by that mantra.
Because what happens is there life in the graveyard?
No,
No,
there's not.
no.
And I don't want to be shackled to those experiences, right?
There's landscaping there, so they make it look real good.
They make it look good,
They
but
make the dead look real good. And shout out to the people that make it look real good. And that's somebody's loved one under there. So I have to look at that, right? When I see somebody hurting, that is, look, on a surface level, but on a deeper level, that is somebody's who's in the ground. And I'm speaking of reality, somebody alive, but just so dead on the inside.
yeah,
So well put together on the outside, but just unmanageable and so messy.
it's nothing there.
Dude.
Nothing there.
But they make it look.
That was me.
Yes.
Majority of my life, man.
My motive.
My motive was to the outside. Did the outside, it's like the picture that I like to use is that, like, to me it was, there's a white picket fence and a manicured lawn. I don't care what the house looks like on the house looks great on the outside.
Dude.
Inside though, man, you got ceilings coming down, you got holes in walls,
Dude,
man.
come on.
You got roaches, you got spiders, like.
Hey, the people that watch this and they know about me, like growing up, right? Like the house, you just described what the outside looked like. So if mom watches this, brother watches this, sister watches this, anybody who watches this that knows, we had an American flag on the outside. We had flowers. We had good looking mulch, but on the inside, it was so unmanageable. There were holes in the wall. This is where my first sexual experience went on. This is where my incest went on. Yeah, I did incest stuff. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where all this happened at, but
Yeah.
on the outside. And I was a yard away. I grew up in South St. Louis, and I was a yard away from my Catholic school that I went into. So I was really close, right?
Yeah.
It was really close. But on the outside, it looked really good.
Yep.
So that's like what it's fuck how I present to you what's really going on. I just want to give it to you. Because when I present it to you, it's got to cut like some presentation, you know?
Yep.
I like it when somebody, look, we didn't have a topic for today.
Nope.
I love that because I don't have to come up with one.
Nope.
I don't have to bait this.
You don't got to present.
You didn't.
You weren't driving over saying, "Okay, this is the topic."
No.
What can I come up
and
with?
I wanted to
topic?
because I'm like, man, I just not that. I want to like make shit look real good. Like, let me present this shiny ass turd to you. You know. You know, like, so when I'm authentic, when I'm consistent, consistency creates and it bursts intimacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not consistent, I cannot be intimate with anybody. Like my relationships from previous say that. I can tell a meeting about me, but can I tell you one-on-one about me? Oh, I'm talking about the opposite sex.
Yes.
Can I tell why am I withholding this from like somebody that just wants, oh my God. I remember I finally said it, right? Everything's okay. But I created this shit, right? And it just kept me sick. Oh my God, it was so sick. Oh my God, but I looked good with my good sharing ass in meetings. You know? Why?
I see it. I see that still.
Why? That's who I want to address. That old good sharing ass.
That's why I see that all the time, man.
I just want people to like me.
I do.
Rate me.
I do.
Just rate me.
Rate me. Give me a good rating, please.
Dude, please.
What do I got to do to make you get a good rating?
Dude.
But then, hey, here's the other thing though, is like, I want everybody to like me. I want everybody I come across to want to be in my life.
Oh.
But I want the control to say yes or no.
Boom.
I want the control that says yes or no. Yeah, you can come in, but you cannot. Sorry, but I still want you to want to be here, though. I want that line around the corner, right? Alex is an exclusive club that everybody wants to get into.
Membership.
I'm also the doorman that says yes and no. I wanted the control.
Yeah. So like, I love when people come into my life, like clients are hitting me up, you know, outside of work when they graduated and stuff like that. So, and I have to be careful. And I believe me and you've had this conversation on boundary.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
because I have my personal life too.
Yes.
You know, I do this and I do that, and sometimes when I do it at work, I can be ultimately drained when I leave.
Yes.
Am I that same person, right, that these people think I am, right, outside of work? When I'm leaving work, how am I treating myself?
Mm.
Because I can let you, when this stops, what you had to say, Rick. Oh, I love when Ricky does groups. When I'm not around that anymore, who am I?
Yeah.
When that stuff stops.
Living clean.
Living clean.
Living clean. Duplicity.
Mm.
Duplicity. When I am duplicitous.
Addicted to.
Oh, man. Yeah, I want to go in here and I want to get all the praise and I want to get all the hype. Yeah, I'm
back at the ranch,
gonna blow your mind. But back at the ranch, dude, what kind of environment am I walking into? Am I walking back into that unmanageable white picket fence, manicured lawn, but yet holes in the? But I'm walking in and my mattress is on the ground and I got dirty sheets on.
Oh, make your bed.
Make your bed.
Make your bed.
Make your bed. Do the dishes, right? Am I walking into a house full of just chaos?
Yes.
Or am I walking into a house that I will invite anybody into?
Mm.
Look, and we're still going to have those dirty dishes in the sink, right? We're going to have that, right? Just because I'm in recovery doesn't mean I'm perfect or I'm always going to live up to the things that I talk about or practice the things that I talk about.
Yeah.
However, I can say that, like, with confidence that, like, yeah, my life is very close and is less chaotic than it's ever been in my entire life. Now, I can still create that chaos if I want to.
I can still create it.
I am still very capable of manipulating and using people. I am still very capable of that.
Yeah.
And I have found that I'm very good at that. Mm-hmm. I'm very good at getting what I want.
Yeah. I've done some work on that person.
I know that does not serve me any purpose today. And it's not God's plan for me.
It's a very dangerous road.
Very dangerous road, man.
It's a very addicting road.
Very. And again, that humility of, like, I'm not far from that.
It's very empty.
Right? Like, no matter how long we're on this path, the ditch is always the same distance away.
It really is.
All it takes is
one. Why I got to come all the way in and sit all the way down. 40 in, 40 out, dog.
40 in, 40 out, 10 toes down.
It really is, man. So, like, if you think, right, like, ooh, I've had this consistency of some good days put together, and that, like, I'm just, like, the disease is going to take everything that it knows about me and try to throw it at me. You know, there are days when I get off work that my son wants to do this and do that, and I, out of exhaustion, not that I don't want to, right, but I'm exhausted, right, but I do things with my son today. We went to the batting cages yesterday. So I wanted my son to get better at batting, right, and better at the baseball. And so I take him to practice. You know, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm active with my son. Yeah. If my son watches this, if my son was here, he would say, my dad is my hero. And if you look up hero in the dictionary, there's a couple definitions, but one of them tell me the one that I love is one who shows great courage. So it takes great courage to have conversations that are uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Courage. Mm-hmm. I get my hair standing up. I swear these headphones just lifted up a little bit because my hair stood up. But like, there's nothing like showing courage when walking through. I don't know what I believe in, but I believe in something. And this something's going to get in touch with your something. And when these somethings get together, magic happens. When I muster up, when my sponsor told me that it's going to be okay, he presented God to me a bunch of times. He presented to me the situation where I can just close my eyes and I can look and I can just see God just like holding me and saying, just come here. Just come here. I got you. Just come here. It's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay.
I pray so much. Somebody asked me, right? Because I pray before I eat. And they're like, why do you pray before you eat? I'm like, because I'm obsessed with food and I like food, you know? And sometimes I eat to live and I live to eat. And that's all I want to do. I eat till I'm cross-eyed. I eat till I'm uncomfortable because I just want to feel better because it tastes good. Because you guys told me that I can't use dope successfully. So I think I could use food successfully, right? Mm-hmm. That I eat to unmanageability, right? Mm-hmm. And I said, I pray because I'm thankful. I never prayed like that before, like on my way to the dope house. I did, but they were foxhole. They're like, man, God, if I could just get through this, like, make all these lights on King's Highway just green so I can get to the dope faster, right? Or praying that the dope man just shows up on time. Just show up on time.
Show up on time. Hey, or the dope man, give me a little extra.
Man, bless
me.
Give
me a little extra.
Bless me.
Give me a little extra.
Just bless me.
Yeah. Or that prayer of like, God, if you get me out of this alive, I will. I'll praise you for the rest of my days.
Yeah.
And then he'd get me out of it alive.
Ain't nothing
I get me out of it alive. But then I'd go right back to it.
My God.
Right back to it. He always held up his end of the deal.
Always.
He will always hold up his end of the deal.
He's always flying a sign that says, I got you.
I got you. When that airplane lands, he's a baggage claim with that sign that says, I got you.
With all my baggage.
With all my baggage.
All of it.
He's there with a huge empty cart.
Oh. I
got you.
Praise.
Come on, load me up. Come on, I can handle it. My God can handle it.
Give it all to me.
My God can handle it. I know that, man. I'm really grateful. I met a guy early on in recovery that was a pastor. And now I'm very guarded when it comes to organized religion, right? Mm-hmm. I'm spiritual, not religious, right? But he taught me the way that he viewed things. He taught me how to have a conversation with God. Ooh. He taught me that, like, you want to be mad at God? That's fine. You want to tell God how you're really feeling? That's fine. Have a conversation. That's how I treat my prayers, is they are conversations with God. And this is what I try to tell people, because so many people struggle with the spirituality aspect of it, especially early on in recovery. Yeah. People really struggle. They think that their prayer has to be perfect. Or what do I pray to? And I said, it doesn't matter what you pray to. Just throw something out there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be simply, help me. Help me.
Yeah.
You know? And he taught me how to talk to God. And that is something that I'll always be very grateful of. And like, to this day, that is how my relationship with God looks, is it's a conversation.
Have you went to God about this girl?
Oh, every night, every day.
And what's happening?
Things have been progressing.
I can still manipulate the response that God had given me. Look, my disease will say not yet, but God's telling me go for it. I got you. Here's all your baggage claim.
I had somebody, and I've just got goosebumps, but like, so after my last like big relapse, which actually I just hit 60 days clean yesterday. So this has been this has been the most quality sobriety that I've had in sexual. And that's a whole other story. Quality, right? But I remember.
Did you say quality or quantity?
Quality. The quality. Dude, I want quality over quantity when it comes to my sobriety.
Yeah, but it takes quality to get quantity.
But it takes quality to get quantity. So I remember after that,
I love
two different people. I was so surprised at these reactions. Two different people. One was a program friend, and one was just a friend not in recovery. Yeah. Program friend said, Alex, I really think that you need to put yourself out there. You need to go out and start dating again. I was not expecting that. Not expecting that, right? So, okay, I hear you. All right, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know. My other friend that I talked to, not in recovery, said, Alex, you need to go put yourself out there. And I was like, what the? Two different people. I'm bringing them this situation that is not a pretty situation. I'm bringing to them a messy situation. And their response is, Alex, you need to go put yourself out there. Hey, and then I was telling that to a guy, and he was like, oh, man, sounds like God's talking to you. Okay, all right. And, man, I have invited God into this situation, right, through everything, because I have to. I don't have to, but I want to, and I need to. And bringing this to God, block or bless this situation, God. Show me how to go through this. And he just is continually showed up in my life, and just like, and to the point where, like, yesterday I brought up the fact, like, I was texting this girl afterwards, and I said, hey, she comes from a spiritual background. She grew up very religious, but then broke out of it and has kind of found her own way with God, right? So we've talked about God. That's something I've never done in a relationship before, Ricky. Never. And I said something to her. I said, hey, how about the next time when we hang out, because we're going to hang out next week? How about at the start of that, how about we pray together? and we invite God in.
Oof.
And she was like, I love that idea. And I was like, all right, let's do that. Because I've never had that before.
Yeah.
But I want that.
Yeah.
I want God to be involved in everything that I do. And I know that he is, right? I know that he is. However, there's sometimes where I really need to. I try to be so mindful to invite God in. Because even though he's there with me, if I can invite God in, that shows me where I'm at. That shows me I'm in a good, solid, I'm in an all right spiritual place if I can invite God in. I know I'm not alone, right? And I used to think inviting God into, this is a client at the treatment center kind of helped me with this. Just because I invite God in doesn't mean everything's going to go exactly how I want it to go.
No.
Right? But that's what I was trying to do in this situation earlier on, was I want to invite God in, because if I invite God in, then things are going to go well. Well, I have to invite God in knowing that, hey, this might not go well, but you know what? God's with me and God's going to help me sift through this experience on the other side.
Bingo.
I was like, oh, a client told me that.
That's good stuff.
And I was like, I am still the student.
Because God taught me how to die. Spiritual principles teach me how to die. They teach me that it's really not about me, right? And I love the fact that you said I can using God to my outcome. God, if you do this.
Conditional.
God,
transactional.
God, I swear to God, I'll pay for the person at Starbucks behind me if you just do this. I'll go bless somebody. If you just do this, I swear I'll bless them. You know, with the best intentions, right? But I think God just gives me that. When you come in with oil, when you come in with the oil, it's a different ball game. When you come in with spiritual principles, when I can get practice. Because this is. This is practice between you and God, setting you up for an all-star game. You know?
Yeah.
All right. Just what you got it. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, here it is. You asked for this. People told you, put yourself out there, and you're using my name. So, I'm going to present this to you. Here we are. What are you going to do? You know?
Yeah.
Hey, it's going to be okay.
Am I going to take this on my own and run with it?
Yeah.
Because when I do that, this situation does not end well for me.
No.
Or the other person either. And then I want to, right.
See, God, I knew you didn't work. See, I knew you didn't work. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But when I can really get with God, because I can get with God now, I can get with God later, but eventually this dude's got to get with God. And I've gotten with God on some few things. And what was revealed to me, I did not like sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not always to my liking. If I got everything I liked, I wouldn't be on this podcast.
No, we wouldn't. The podcast wouldn't even exist.
No, I wouldn't have to.
No.
There's something about a surrender, you know? Surrender to this fantasy. Not that fantasy is bad, but when I can surrender this fantasy. If I see enough of red flags, it's time to wave a white one. Enough of red flags, I will eventually wave a white one if I'm not dead. Take my shit. Take my material shit. I'm not saying, God, just take it right now. That's not what I'm saying. But if you take my peace and you take my relationship with God away, if I'm not getting the outcome to my liking and I've blamed God or cussed God or distanced myself from God, I am in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll start looking for it somewhere else.
Yes.
And I'll start, look, if I'm not getting this again, and I think that's God. I think the hand claps are God. Somebody sent me just the other day, I was doing group on Wednesday, I think. And he said, when I kneel for God, he stands up for me. You know? When I can get with that dude, ain't nothing like getting with him.
Ain't nothing, man. That
God.
is top of my priority list, right? That's where it starts for me. Spiritual wellness.
Spiritual. We are not religious.
Spiritual wellness. Yes. Right? If spiritual wellness is on, everything else is going to fall into play. Everything else falls into place, right? I need that spiritual aspect. I need spirituality in my life in order to manage, to keep everything going. And that if I'm off, I need to return to that spiritual. I need to return to God.
There's an inventory that I got to take for me. On what am I not doing? What am I doing? What am I looking for? What am I expecting?
Yeah.
So there's an inventory, and I know that businesses don't survive without inventory, and I know this addict doesn't survive without inventory. I know that if I really wanted something, if I go to a restaurant and I want something on the menu and I ask for it and they say, well, we didn't do inventory, so we don't have it. Damn. They failed to do inventory. So I lack to give anything. Service, I'm huge in service. Because I've been reached, right? And there's nothing like doing the basics of the program. The basics. The three things that will there are three things that will defeat this addict in my recovery, and this is an attitude, because I got an attitude problem. Sometimes I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin in the attitude era, right? But there are three things that will defeat me in my recovery, and this is an attitude of indifference or intolerance towards spiritual principles. I don't know about you, but when I'm indifference, I'm in trouble.
Yes.
And if I'm indifference, some people that are around me are in trouble. And when I'm indifference, I start to compare myself to others. And when I'm indifference and when I compare myself to others, it's because I'm just not measuring up. It's just because that I haven't got with God, and the same God that I didn't get on my knees for didn't stand up for me because I ain't got down on my knees for him. So it's time that I get with God. And sometimes I get with God when I get with you, and I get with you and God gets me to you and you get me right back to God. God, G-O-D, group of dudes, right? This is a group of dudes.
Of dudes right here, man.
Look, G-O-D, don't get it twisted. Gift of desperation. Ain't nothing like a desperate addict. And if I'm a desperate addict, so I'm faced with, in desperation, I'm left and I'm faced, and I get to this T in the road. And if I don't go left, knowing not what's on the left, I don't know what's on left, but it's fear of the unknown, right? I know that I've activated some faith when I make this left, because I know what's on the right. I know the ends are bitter on the right. I know that when I withhold information and I make a right, it is so bad, and it is a roundabout right back to the T in the road. But when I go left, I find out what's on the left. God tells me, look, we talk about the baggage claim. When God's holding the sign, so I'm at the T in the road and God's holding up I got you over here. I want all of you and your baggage over here. Come left. I'll be with you on the right, but I'm also going to walk with you on the left.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I just burped. I don't know if you're going to edit that or not. Keep that in.
We'll keep it in.
It's authentic.
Yes. We'll keep it in. AI might cut it out. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how. AI might cut it out. I don't know.
If you don't, you don't. But whatever. I appreciate you. I knew I seen something in you when I met you. I knew, because I can remember the doors I walked in and I met you for the first time. It was the door on the side of IRC.
Yeah. On
the side by the bench.
Yeah.
Where I caught two people on Thursday not supposed to be there. The two people we got eyes on are not supposed to be there. That's the bench that I was passing, and I got to the doors and I met you.
Yeah.
And then we did the men's group.
Yes.
And then I started speaking. I didn't come from the hip. I came from the heart, right? And I started sharing my experience a little bit because it was an essay meeting. We read some essay literature, whatever. And then the clients thought I was a client. I'll go with it. Let's roll.
That's fine.
Well, let's roll. I can reach you any way. You can reach me any way. Yep. I do not have to be on that side of the room. I do not. I've been reached from the back.
Yes.
To the side.
Yes.
I've been reached on Relapse Road.
Yes.
They call way in the back. Relapse Road. I've been reached. Yeah. And what it does, it slowly gets me to the front.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Where I become a student and I'm all, let's roll.
Let's roll, man.
I love our literature. I love recovery literature. It speaks to me. And it says things and it puts things in perspective that I failed to do.
Yeah.
Because I got a perspective problem.
Yeah.
I got a perspective problem. And I thank God for Narcotics Anonymous, and I thank Narcotics Anonymous for the God. And I think SA for a God and SA, I could go anywhere with that.
Yeah.
I thank God for God. I thank God for recovery. It gave me this.
Yes.
This is therapeutic to me.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with this. This is what I love. This is where my growth has happened when I'm one-on-one.
Yes.
One-on-one. You'll get a different version of me in a crowd than you will one-on-one, depending on who's with me.
Yeah.
Hence, if it's the opposite sex, I can share with you my experience in a crowd, even if that opposite sex that I'm attracted to. If I get this individual one-on-one, the same girl that just heard me speak and be vulnerable and take risks, I find it difficult to get one-on-one with her
Mm-hmm.
and get as vulnerable as I did when everybody else was around.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know. I'm addressing it. And you know what's so cool is that I'm willing to.
Yeah. The willingness.
Just stay willing, Rick.
Willingness,
Alex,
man.
just stay willing.
Just stay willing, dude.
Keep going.
I'm willing, man.
Just stay willing.
I'm willing, you know.
The opportunity will present itself.
I'm willing.
It will present itself.
I'm willing. And I'm willing to go about it. And I'm willing to deal with whatever that looks like on the other side. Because I gotta be willing to do that too, right?
What's it look like on the other side? Real quick. Dude, if you don't say I don't know, we don't know.
I don't know. Right? I'm sitting here trying to think, but like, dude,
we don't.
I don't know.
Welcome to the left turn.
I do not know what I know that I have to make this left turn. Ooh. Ricky, I know that I have to. And you know what, brother? I'm willing, right?
We
get to. Yes, thank you. I get to make this left turn, man. And what I'm actually really grateful for is that like I'm even in this headspace.
Yes.
That I'm even in this. Because, dude, Ricky, I could sit here and be like, no, not gonna do that. Nope. Right? Like, I'm not gonna do that. It's not time yet. No, it's time. It's time. And what I'm really thankful for is that there's distance and space between now and then.
Yes.
I love what you said about your sponsor being like practice. Because literally that's what my sponsor told me last night.
In the car when nobody's around. Practice.
He was like, practice. Write down. Write. Talk about it. Practice. Role play if you need to. Like, practice. And I said, he's like, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And I said, no, you are actually, though. Like, I do know that, but I forget, right? This is also a disease of forgetfulness.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I forget these things. So thank you for that perspective. And that's why we need these people in our lives. This man's been through it before. So he's got a little bit more experience there. He's got a little bit more wisdom to share. Yeah. He told me, Alex, practice. Okay. All right. Thank you. Right. So now I've got 6 days, right? She's coming up here on Friday. We're going to hang out on Friday. Now, by the time this episode airs, I will already have had that conversation, and I'll let the listeners know how it went on the other side.
That is pressure. Pressure. The pressure is on.
If it doesn't go, I might just cancel Christmas. Christmas is canceled. But no, I get to practice, right, man? And I get to have conversations. And dude, back in my using days, man, I didn't talk about these things. Because if I talked about them, they would not go the way that I wanted to.
Well, that means they existed, and I don't want to. I didn't exist. I was surviving.
Yeah.
You know, so they exist. This is what it is. This is my truth. This isn't like what I think I know. This is the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and I appreciate when somebody tells the truth.
Yeah.
If I got on here and I lied, if I was just lying, you know, if we were exchanging war stories, do you know I would lie to one up you? I can get into that, look, real fast.
Real fast, man.
Yep.
Real fast.
So like humbly, I come here, you know, and I'm just authentic.
Yes.
Ain't nothing like the truth.
Ain't nothing like the truth,
man. If they
man.
lied to me and somebody lied and told somebody that this was going to be easy, shame on them.
Shame.
It's not, but it's simple.
It's simple.
It really is.
It's simple.
I'm just Humpty Dumpty's getting off the wall. I don't know how to.
Putting that man back together.
We got to put that man back together, and the whole world will fall into place.
The whole world falls into place, man. Yeah. Falls beyond our wildest expectations.
When I'm on the mountain, make sure that I'm not in the valley, sharing from the mountaintop, because I could be hurting. Sharing from the mountaintop with my good sharing ass.
Yeah, good sharing ass, man.
Or like sharing from the valley, wanting to be on the mountaintop, just wanting to be somebody else, somewhere else, doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why me?
I gotta share where I'm at.
That's why it's not who am I, because I know I have an understanding of who I am.
Yeah.
But the truth is always subject to revision, right? But where are you? Where are you?
Where are you? Yeah.
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
Where are you?
Where am I?
Yeah,
Because I can tell you I'm one place, but I'm not. Am I really there? I got to be honest about where I am. If I'm in a valley, I'm in a valley, and I can sit here and tell you, Ricky, I'm on top of a mountain, right? And you might believe me, but if I'm really in a valley, I'm only hurting myself.
I get mountaintop results, and it ain't good.
No duplicity again. That's the duplicity. Duplicity. Does my outside match my insides?
Does my language match my behavior?
Does
Is
my language?
my audio matching my video? Am I really doing this thing?
Am I really doing this thing?
Outside of the applause and the man, I love your groups and all this stuff, am I really taking that stuff outside of work?
Yeah,
Absolutely. I can say with confidence today.
I gotta say, man, sometimes it scares me though. Sometimes it really scares me, and sometimes I really I think that I'm lying to myself, and I know that I'm not, but it scares me though.
What does?
Am I? Does everything match? Does my? It does. It does, but there's still a part of me that's like I'll be on I'll be on the phone with my sponsor, and I'll like run him through my day, and like say it was a decent day or a neutral day or even a bad day, right? Whatever, any of them, and it's like there's sometimes where I have to like take a pause and be like, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not. I'm not missing anything, but I'm not, and I'm just like, what am I missing though? I'm missing something. I'm not telling you something that I need to be telling you, but I'm not though. But I'm not, which tells me I'm in line.
Only you know.
Only I know.
You know, this is a you. You know, but this is a we thing.
Yeah.
But we don't know what's going on with you. You know.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll start pouring out, and like anything going on with me will eventually make its way.
It'll always come to a head.
It always
It always does. It always will. And the further along in recovery I've been, the more I've seen that, right? Where I used to be able to get away with a little shit. Or at least I thought that I could get away with omitting some truths.
Yeah.
But then it would always come back and bite me. That's why I'm so concerned with that's why I am so concerned with being as thorough as I possibly can. And hold on, give me a second. Let me make sure that I'm telling you everything that I need to tell you. Because if I leave something out, this is going to come back and bite me.
I don't like when people say act as if, oh, we just practice. We just practice. And in the practicing, we make mistakes. I don't always catch the ball. I don't always hit the ball. I sometimes swing at the ball and I strike out. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I know where the ball's going. Sometimes I hit home runs. You know, it's just life.
It's just life.
It's
just life.
Welcome to it.
And we get to learn from these.
Somebody said, how is life today? Like, how's life treating you? And I said, no, how am I treating life? Mm-hmm. Life's going to do what life's going to do. Mm-hmm. How am I treating it? Mm-hmm. You know?
Because that's the other thing, man. Just because we got clean and sober doesn't mean that life's still not going to throw things at us.
Look, if you're new and you're going to read this or listen to this or whatever you want to do with this, welcome.
Welcome.
If you've been around a while, welcome.
Welcome.
If you're going through some things, welcome.
Welcome.
If you're sharing from the mountaintop, welcome. If you're sharing from the mountaintop, your ass is in the valley, welcome. If you're sharing from the valley and you want to get to the mountaintop, welcome. There are days I want to be somebody else doing something else, being somewhere else. Mm-hmm. There is. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I want to go back to the child, the certain scent, the certain like smell, a certain like just, if it's just pitched perfect, I just want to go back. Mm-hmm. I want to fix it. Mm-hmm. If I'm always in repair mode, if I'm always in prepare mode or repair mode, no, that's desperate.
That is.
No, looking for the check engine light.
That is.
Just waiting for it.
Just
waiting.
Mm-mm. No.
I don't want to be like that.
No, so I don't.
Dude, we getting ready to go on a family vacation.
Yeah.
This is the third annual in a row. All my brothers and sisters but one is clean. Blessings.
Yeah.
I was never taken on vacation as a child. My son has been to like 15 of them.
That's awesome.
Dude.
Yeah.
Breaking the cycle.
Breaking the cycle, man. A gift.
Not that Mom and Dad were bad.
Right.
You know, but we were just wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were just wild. But That's the cool thing, is that we get to spend some quality time together. I'm not as close to my mom as she wants me to be. I still want to be closer to my father. I still yearn for that. That is a level of acceptance that I have not reached yet. Is that I still, when my dad calls my phone, I'm willing to stop what I'm doing and answer. My dad called Pocket Dog me the other day while I was at work. So I was like, man, I'm going to call him when I get off work. Ooh, it's going to be good. I call him back. He goes, oh, man, I must have pocket dialed you. I said, right on. He goes, okay, bye. You know, my dad forgot to call me on my birthday. This happens a lot every year. My dad's been asking me when my birthday is since I was a child. But I can't knock him for that. But he called and he was like, it was like a week later. He goes, man, I just wanted to tell you happy birthday. Apologize I didn't get to call you. This is every year thing. But now he's like a couple more days than usual that he's called and said, man, I apologize. But when's your birthday? I know it just passed, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Dad, I'm sorry. I go, don't even worry about it anymore. I said, I'm good without you. That was a lie. I want you in my life.
Yeah.
And I want you in my son's life. This isn't a shout to my dad, so if he watches this isn't. But my son doesn't know who my dad is. But I'll be damned if my son looks for his dad like I look for mine. Not today. Not today.
Breaking that cycle.
Not today. Dis-ease.
Not today.
No, I'm active. Let's go. Let's go, Lucas. Where we going?
Man.
Let's roll. My son hates meetings, but he thanks him because he's a kid.
Yeah.
But he thanks him for giving him his dad back.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Narcotics Anonymous. That's why I'm thankful.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for sharing that, man. I really appreciate that. Like, that was real.
I say it doesn't hurt, or that I've accepted it a little bit more. And granted, I have, but that doesn't take the fact away that sometimes I want to beat my ass so my dad can come say, you know why I did that? Because I love you. You know?
Yeah.
I still want that.
Yeah.
I still look for that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's real. Again, I appreciate you sharing that, man. Thank you for trusting me with that.
It's risky. You know? We didn't know where we were going with this.
We did not. And then look at that. We're an hour and 45 minutes in.
And we said an hour? I had reservations.
Raise your hand if you know what a reservation is.
Yes. I made one in the military. I made one. I know what one is. Yes, but we can cancel that.
Little inside joke there. There's a little treatment center inside joke.
I love this.
Man, I love you, dude. Seriously, like I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed. We work really well together, man. Like,
they love us.
They love us.
Dude, we shout outs. I will shout them out right now. IRC family, the ones who are sticking and staying right now. Not the ones that just said that they like me and Alex, but anyways, just sticking and staying. Just stick and stay. Stick and stay. Stay and stick with us. Stay and stick.
Stay.
Just stay. Stick and stay. We thank you for the shout outs at the huddle. We just, like, you didn't know, but when you like left because you only work Sundays, the shout outs that people would give to you. Dude, that's dope.
I love it.
I'm like, man, I gotta get this dude, man.
So you know what's funny is, like, I used to be very like, I've got to get all of the attention. I have to get all of the attention, right? I have to, right? And if somebody else got the attention, fuck them. I want that, right? But man, what I love now and what I love about where I'm at in my program, in my life, like, no, I want somebody else to get the credit. So when somebody comes in the huddle and shouts out you or somebody else and leaves me off that list, no problem. Good. I'm glad that man touched you today. That man touched me too. I'm thankful for that. Like, man, I'm happy somebody's reaching you. Yeah. If it's not me, that's fine with me. I'm not going to reach everybody.
I don't know if you read our text thread, but people were wanting Alcoholics Anonymous books. Thank God.
Thank God. No, I have not been reading that thread now that I'm off work.
God.
I don't look at the thread when I'm not at work.
Maybe if somebody said something they can relate to, but somebody who was remember the question I asked, what are you willing to do that you were unwilling to do prior to treatment?
Mm-hmm.
What are you willing to do today that you were unwilling to do? And I see people asking for books. Yep. Starts with the little boy and the little girl.
Starts a little boy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, give that little boy a ball. Those little boys are asking for balls because they won't play catch.
Let's play catch.
Let's play catch. That's
Let's
all this
go.
is. So let's play catch.
Let's go. This is playing catch.
Let's play catch. This is playing catch,
Little
man.
boys playing catch.
Little boys playing catch, man. That's it. Man, I think this is a good spot to leave it at.
Let's go.
Until next time, right? Because you will be back on the podcast again.
I cannot wait to share with you.
You will be back.
This journey.
Yes.
Where I am or where I will be on that given day.
Yeah.
Because I will.
Because the journey's going to look different.
I'll let you meet me there.
Absolutely, man. Ricky, thank you, man. First off, one, for coming on the podcast. Yes. Thank you, man. The courage and the willingness that it takes to come on here and share this, knowing that this is just going to get put out for anybody to listen to, right? It's not easy. It takes courage. And I got to give myself credit for that too, because I think that anybody can do this. Well, not anybody, everybody can do this. Not everybody's willing to come on here. That's why when somebody is willing to come on, it fucking excites me, because I'm like, yes. Sure, I could be in here every episode just me talking. I love talking. I love hearing myself talk in the headphones.
This isn't that bad. I was like,
no,
man,
it's nice.
I'm gonna hear myself.
It's nice.
Well, I don't like myself. That's what I was telling myself. What do you mean I gotta hear myself? I don't even like myself. But it turned out good.
Dude. And you know what's so this is funny. So I've been doing this for 80. This is the 80th episode, right? It wasn't until the last episode that I had another guy in here and we were talking, and I was like, we were talking about the headphones thing, because this is his first time on a podcast too, hearing yourself in the headphones. I love hearing myself on the headphones because I want to be heard, right? What is more powerful than hearing myself?
It's getting in the mirror.
I was like, my God, I'm hearing myself through this.
Yeah.
Putting these headphones on, man, I can hear myself.
It's not bad.
No, I'm hearing myself, right? That's all I wanted, was to be heard. But I got to hear myself first. I
thought, God. But
these microphones make it sound really good, too.
I love it. I love this. This is dope. This is good. Dude. This is delicious. This is spiritual. We just ate spiritually. We just
had a spiritual feast.
Just protein, just buffet. We just ate.
We went up for seconds
and thirds. Yeah. And we're gonna have seconds again.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get to a new buffet.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Near you.
Close to you. Man, but Ricky, again, thank you for coming on. Second off, though, man, thank you for being you. And thank you for showing me you, and thank you for showing up as your authentic self. Man, thank you.
Appreciate
I love and respect you. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you.
Go God.
I am so blessed, man. Seriously, to look at my life today, man, and just be able to sit back and say, wow, this is beautiful. And that's including everything, not all the good things, right? Even the bad things. I can look back now and say, wow, there's beauty in that.
Yeah.
Because that was my experience, and that's what led me to sitting here with you right now.
I just want to make this disclaimer. So anything I said as far as Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Sex Anonymous is not a direct reflection of those programs. What I've used is the information that I've got and some literature that I've read that I've used as a result. So
yeah,
that's my disclaimer.
Well, thank you for that, man. Again, thank you for coming on, man. Super excited to just continue to watch you grow, man. You inspire me, brother. You motivate me.
You too, you gentle
and
giant.
I appreciate it.
It's your gentleness, bro. It's just gentle. This is just gentle. Yeah, I love you,
man. So we'll end this here. As always, guys, keep coming back. It works if you work it, and you are worth it. We'll see you next time. Boom.
That was good stuff.